So the brother's talking about the land of Magog. Set thy face against God, the land of Magog. That's Russia. The chief prince of Meshach. Go ahead.
The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus said the Most High Power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws.
So the Most High, he's prophesying against Russia, saying he's going to turn Russia back. So the Most High is even against Putin, you know. And, you know, like we get happy because we see the prophecies being fulfilled, and, you know, you want to cheer Putin on, but at the end of the day, the Most High is against Putin and Russia as a whole, because they are Edomites too.
That's right.
So the Most High is using Edomites to bring down the Edomites, because, you know, and then the other nations going to get in too. The other nations going to get involved. But yeah, the Most High is because what was Russia doing at one point? You know, they were chilling, minding their own business. But the Most High said no, He's going to put hooks in their jaws and basically bring them back to that Soviet Union mentality. So their republic is being brought back together.
In fact, going into that's a big piece of the prophecy going into the beginning of the of January.
Right.
Because earlier this year, Russia reformulated what was called the Eurasian Union, which basically started slowly bringing back a lot of those former Soviet states. You know, like Armenia, Kazakhstan, and a few others. And the whole thing, what was going on with the U.S. and Russia, which really was NATO and Russia, was the fact that NATO was annexing territories closer and closer to the former Soviet bloc, and they kept on moving eastward, you know, towards Poland, towards Ukraine, and that's what led Putin to come out, and I believe it was 2014. With trying to annex Crimea, because NATO was basically trying to get closer and closer and taking over that territory that was close to the Black Sea. Yeah. So that led Putin to have to make a move and try and annex Crimea just to protect their interest in the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea as well. So that later started kind of funneling for territory, you know, going into the Syria thing. That's what led to that, you know, later this year. So that whole move that was been happening, the Mossad set that up. That the greed of NATO has basically led to drawing out, you know, basically the beginning pretty much of Ezekiel the 38th chapter. And just like he was saying, we get excited about Putin, you know, doing his thing, but we understand this is all part of the prophecy, because I'm just gonna bring in a little quick precept in Mark chapter 3, you know, verse 23, and it says here. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, How can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. All right? So basically, you know, the Most High is dividing the house of Esau. All right, the house of Esau is divided against each other right now. All right, starting with pretty much NATO versus Russia and their allies. Go ahead,
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to go back over the acronym for USSR, but it's the proper one is Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Okay, that's what USSR stands for.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's
Con.
You know, make sure we get it right on point.
All right, go on into the scripture.
Con. Verse 4. And I will bring thee forth, and all thine armies, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
Now bring that out one more time, right?
Con. This is verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws.
Right, turn them back to that former USSR status. You know, which This is what's going on. The brother went into it, man, with the actual gathering of the territories and that whole mindset, you know. The mindset of, and then you look at the East versus the West, you know, they're more traditional in their views as opposed to, you know, Europe and over here, especially in America, man, everybody becoming faggots and shit. Them Russians, even though they Edomites, they're against that shit, man. They're against their homosexuality. All of the things that defiles a nation, you know. And like I say, they devils too, but they try to live to some type of standards and moral, where as opposed to here, no morals whatsoever. You know. So read that, brother.
And I will bring thee forth and all thine army.
Right, and you see that army, man, being prepared, man, from the Spetsnaz, you know, to the military. And if you pay attention to current events on the geopolitical stage, man, war is being set up. There was you bringing it out, man. They are basically moving around, you know, military equipment, getting it in place, because that takes, you know, you don't just overnight, you know, have a aircraft launcher and, you know, over in this sea, and, you know, tanks over here in Syria, and then, you know, they've been strategically setting up, getting ready for war.
That's right.
And they did that in World War II. Because if you go into even Wikipedia, you'll see they'll have the events leading up to World War II, and they had all these different conflicts, which all that did was just set up where everybody was going to be military positioned for when they did finally kick off World War II.
Don't they usually roll out the map and say, we got a
theater of war? They call it theater of war. They actually, the elites actually have theaters of war that they say, okay, look, we're going to have these people fight in the South China Sea. Over here, we're going to have these people fighting along the Persian Gulf. They basically strategically putting out a theater of war by having these different conflicts, and then they move different military stuff around. And, you know, Russia signed a deal with India of $150 billion like a couple of weeks ago. So they're going to get their own stuff too. So really, if you look at it, they already planning the war. The war is already happening.
It's really happening.
It's already happened. It's just that it ain't, just like he was saying, it ain't going to officially kick off. But when it does, everything going to be in place. Tanks, you know,
the
aircraft
preparations right now.
Exactly. And see, this is that scripture being fulfilled. Hey, read that part again, brother. Listen to what Mosiah is saying.
God. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army.
And I will bring thee forth and all thine army, which is taking place right now. Go ahead.
Horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor.
Now we know nowadays they don't fight on horses anymore with horsemen, but that's your tanks. You know, that's them SU 24,
400s.
2400, yeah.
It's 24s and 400s.
Yeah, the 400s, that's the one I'm thinking about. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's all them, but you know, a horse just represents power. You know? So that's the aircrafts, all of that. That's the horses.
Hey, I can go into that turn thee back, because a lot of people, if you go into the history of the Soviet Union, they used to be in the Middle East. They used to do a lot of stuff. Egypt, they were allies with Egypt. They used to do stuff in the 80s in Afghanistan. They used to deal with Iran. So they used to deal with all those, and they used to basically have be over there training people and all that stuff, military support. But then when the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 happened, they left that region. So for about a good 20, almost 25 years, they pretty much not been dealing with that region until recently. Started getting up there. So the Most High, like you said, he's turning them back because they used to be there before.
Now, that's a hell of a point, you know. That's a hell of a point. So yeah, hey, can't nothing but war happen now. You know, the stage is being set for war. Like the brother said, that's an actual literal term. Theater of war is being set. Their stage is being set, you know, and everybody getting in position. You know, they practicing their lines, and they getting ready to go to war.
Turkey's already in Iraq right now.
Exactly. Go ahead, brother.
Even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
A great company with bucklers and shields, man. Man, Russia went over there to Syria, shut that ISIS shit down, man. And they didn't even have to bring a whole, you know, they strategically some airstrikes, air raids, and they shut ISIS down in Syria, as far as in Syria. But you know, when the real shit kick off, Russia got it, and then China gonna get in that thing too.
Yep.
But Russia got a nice size standing army.
Yep.
You know.
Oh yeah, do the Hell March every year.
Mm-hmm.
They be on point with they shit too.
And they special unit, like I say, them Spetsnaz, they'll make a Green Beret look like a goddamn Girl Scout.
Straight up.
For real though. Go ahead, brother.
Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmet.
Yeah, all of them with shield. Okay, go through them nations again.
Persia, Ethiopia.
Persia is Iran. Ethiopia, that's still Ethiopia, you know. Go ahead.
And Libya.
And Libya, you know.
All the places is got jacked up the last couple of years.
Yeah, I want to say something. I went back and checked. All those nations got some type of political and economic ties with each other. You know, with Russia. So that perfectly fits their scripture right there.
And plus, on top of that, you know, when you go into, I think it was back in February, Egypt did some airstrikes in Libya against ISIS. So, because Egypt is an ally of NATO and an ally of, they're basically a puppet of the state of Israel. So basically, that's the reason why Egypt is not named there, because they're not in ties with Libya and with Syria. They're actually basically have been already bought out. Their leaders already been bought out by the NATO, pretty much, in Israel.
Yeah,
to
it's
basically
just like another Saudi Arabia, man.
It's like another Saudi Arabia puppet. It's like Saudi Arabia. So it's like it's all strategically in place that they just happen to not be part of that being named as part of that group.
Okay, go through that one more
6.
time.
Go back to 5.
5.
Okay. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmet.
Okay, yeah. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee.
Yeah, that's just going more into the Soviet Union, because those are basically the lands that Esau. Those were originally Japheth's land that Esau went in and took over, and now they make up that Soviet Union today. So they all gonna get involved when you're talking about Ukraine, all them nations.
I'll name the nations in fact.
Yeah, you can bring them
that's
up
for edification. And this is the January 1st. This is the Eurasian Economic Union that started. It was Russia, and Russia basically brought in Belarus, Armenia, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan, which that's the Gomer, Togarmah, those different areas which are part of the former Soviet bloc.
Come.
Beautiful. All right, brothers, go ahead. So they gonna get in on it too, cause they all sick of this Western way. They sick of NATO, you know, poking their nose in everybody's business, trying to tell people how to live. You know, everybody's sick of this fucking white man. The white man is sick of the white man. That's how bad it done got. You know? Come. Go ahead, brother.
God. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Okay, and be thou a guard unto them. And so you see it had Persia in there, so yeah, Iran is gonna get in the thing, and like, you know, like as the prophecy goes, the least of the flock should draw them out. Because Israel been itching to, you know, go into Iran, but they haven't been given the green light yet. You know? Saying, oh yeah, they making weapons, they enriching uranium, they doing all this and that, you know? And really, Iran is like Russia. They just stay to their own business.
Right.
Iran don't invade countries, get into other countries' business,
Yeah.
other nations' business, trying to tell them what to do.
Yeah, and the way that Russia or the USSR is gonna be a guard on to them nations that it lists off is by providing them with that weapon technology. You know, the nuclear missile technology, how to enriching uranium and all that shit. You know, so Russia's supplying these nations with basic weapon advancement.
Weaponry. Okay.
After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. But it is brought back, Salakia, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them.
Okay, and basically that was the point I wanted to bring out, man, is that, you know, this is a major prophecy that was fulfilled here in 2015, and going into 16, the stage is already set. So now, Lord willing, we'll be going into, you know, if we here at the end of 2016, if we still here, we'll be going into Revelation 13. You know, so that'll be fulfilled, Lord willing, in 2016. Because the chip is already here, people are already getting it, but it has to be implemented on the worldwide stage, you know, made mandatory. And then that's gonna be the fulfilling of the mark of the beast. And that's gonna mean for that mark of the beast to come through, financial ruin is gonna have to happen.
Cool.
You know, the collapse of this current money system, and you're gonna see chaos come with that. So everything that we've been prophesying, it could set off in 2016. You know, and this is where we finna put up these curses right now, that the Most High hurry these prophecies along, you know, and destroy this place. And I'm gonna just end it right there, because we getting close to midnight. I'm gonna let the brothers, you know, y'all have any closing remarks or words or precepts, you know, bring them out.
Yeah, I got one scripture. Yeah, I got something. I want to bring this out real quick. It's Philippians 2 and 12.
That's a good one to end on too.
Yeah, so now like Romans 13 and 11 say, and knowing the times that now it is high time to wake out of sleep, because our salvation is nearer than when we believe. So Philippians chapter 2 verse 12, it says, wherefore my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence. Work out, this is the main part I'm focusing on. And that's another thing too, man, you know, basically about, you know, following this doctrine, living this doctrine, not only in the presence of the apostles or brothers, but, you know, when a brother's not around, you still, you know,
Right.
doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it's true. The next part of this verse, it says, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. And you know, that's it, man. Each brother got to work out their own salvation. I had mentioned it on the block, I believe on just past Wednesday or so. We ain't gonna make it, we ain't gonna, you know, make it into a kingdom off another brother's works, you know. Yeah, like I said, we help each other, we lift each other up, comfort each other with the scriptures, you know, show brotherly love. And saying that, at the end of the day, you in this thing by yourself, man. I mean, as far as your salvation depends on what you do. And then, you know, if you're of the elect, your actions are going to reflect that you're of the elect. And you're going to be diligent, you know. and you're gonna have to be, your diligence is what's gonna save you. You know, that's what the scriptures say. If you do these things, then you should never fall. You know, you can't say I was cool with this brother, man. I used to listen to him, kick the doctrine, and break these breakdowns break down these breakdowns to me, and you know, I'm gonna hold on to this brother when they beaming up.
Yep.
You try to brother get beamed up, you try to grab onto his heel and hold on. I'm gonna shake you off, bro. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just
twinkling of eyes, it's gonna happen so quick.
yeah, I'm just big. I'm just man, you know, but yeah, that's you know, fear. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You know.
Yeah. Close on that, bro.
All right. With that, we want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, you know, for giving us the spirit and power and courage to speak His words, their words. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom and all the Akim across the earth that's pushing this truth and faith and sincerity. You know, Shalom.
Shalom.